This is going to be the box jump. And when it comes to doing box jumps, we should get really clear on purpose here. In some cases, when people program box jumps or when people do box jumps, their goal with that box jump is to make themselves really tired. They're practicing moving at a high rate of speed. I'm not a fan of box jumps in that iteration for a couple of reasons. One is it tends to put the knees, the hips, the ankles at a little bit of risk of injury, especially if we're jumping back down off of the box. Second thing is that when we ski or snowboard, we are not repeatedly jumping in that fashion. That's not the way that we're moving, at least not onto kind of a higher platform. We'll do some lateral jumping in the program too, but for right now, when we go forward onto a box, we are less concerned with the box and we're more concerned with the jump. So what I'm gonna have Janelle do in just a second here is show you guys two different kinds of box jumps. And you'll note that we're not even going onto a box. We've got a pair of 45-pound plates stacked. This is probably about 7.5 or 8 inches worth of height. If you have some fear, if you are kind of trepid about jumping onto a platform, start low. Start with just a tiny thing off the ground, a 10-pound plate, and then as you gain confidence, you're welcome to go higher. We've also got a 16-inch box out, but there's no expectation of going there. Again, we don't care about the box as much as we care about the jump itself. So what I'm gonna have Janelle first do is a jump where she is really focused on the jump, which means that she is pushing violently off of the ground. And what we should see is that her hip is fully extending, that she is getting as tall and as long as she can while she's in the air. Let's go for just one of those. Great. Step back down. So Janelle landed really softly on the plates, which is good, but more importantly, she was tall, glutes were squeezed as she was in the air floating up. Will you now do a jump that is more about the box than the jump? And I want you guys to see what happens in her hips that's different. Great. There was very little hip extension. Janelle didn't stand all the way up. Will you go 3 more for us, standing the higher quality one, that first one? And we're always going to step back down off of the plates or off of the box. Great. And that third one, Janelle was a little bit short on her hip extension, on her knee extension. We can always work on getting taller and floating higher, and that's really the goal with the box jump. So we're going to add another plate here, and we're going to take a look at that one more time. So we've scaled the challenge for Janelle here. We've added a third plate. We're now at about a 12 or a 13-inch platform. And the reason why I'm showing you guys this is 2 things. One, I want you to know that I don't care how high you go with your box jumps. I care that your jump is more about the jump and less about the box. If you find yourself with this kind of like, I'm afraid of it, I don't want to do this, you bend down, you kind of half jump, but then you really pull your feet super high to get there, we're missing the objective, we're missing the point. What we want to see is a ton of power off the ground, and then a little bit of knee rebend to help buffer that landing. That's our goal. Janelle, let's go for 3 of these. Great. And the more you push through the ground, the higher you float, and the easier it is to get up to the top of the box. Thanks, Janelle. And that's how we do our box jumps.